we've been warned it would happen, but it doesn't make it any easier to hear. It now costs, on average, £100 for a tank of fuel. The milestone was passed after another day of price rises at the pump. Some forecourts are already charging more than £2 a litre. And all that's putting more pressure on the government to try and take action, though the Prime Minister has accused some firms of failing to pass on the recent 5 pence cut in fuel duty. Well, let's speak to Bradley Harris right now. He's at a petrol station in Coventry. Bradley, great to have you on the programme. How has the news gone down there?
Well, Dan, the news is pretty dire for motorists. Today reaches a milestone for many drivers who regularly fill up here in Coventry. Many people arriving with gritted teeth, looking up at the sign where it says 189.9 a litre. That's for unleaded. It goes up to 190.9 a litre for diesel. But we know that in some forecourts across the UK, it's actually surpassed 2 litres. And this is having huge pressure on household budgets, where we know that food prices are going up, gas prices are going up at record levels, which is putting huge amounts of pressure on people during a cost of living crisis. Earlier on, I went to a mobile barber's who's having to cut back on services.
This morning, it was just over halfway. It is now just over a quarter. So if I filled that up, we're probably talking about 150, 160 pounds.
What we having then, bud?
Short back in size. Something like the Peaky Blinder one.
Gotcha.
And normally the customers will come in, you'll have your general small talk of how's your holiday, what plans have you got, where are you going nice, what are you doing with the kids over the school holidays, and instead the first thing they come in and say is, I can't get over the price of fuel. The cost of fuel is taking precedence over the cost of any of my other equipment. So I'm more concerned about just getting to work than I am about having enough of what I need at work.
From Glasgow to Birmingham and across London, it's hard to ignore the fact that petrol prices are rising to record levels. So where is your money going? The average petrol price in the UK is now over 182 pence per litre. That means filling up a typical 55-litre family car will set you back over £100. Of that £100, 29 is fuel duty, and that's with the government's promised 5p per litre cut. And almost £17 is VAT. So that's nearly half of the price of your tank going straight to the government. The RAC have said it's a truly dark day for motorists.
Obviously, we hoped we wouldn't see this. We'd seen it already for diesel. And the question is now, where's it going to stop? And I think we need some extra help from the government for drivers.
The government have cut fuel duty, but now they say businesses should do their bit.
They are making record-breaking profits. Me being a small business, I know what profit is. Profit is money that you have to play with. That is not counting any expenditure. You're charging too much for a product you are not buying in at the same price.
Of course, this is having a huge impact not just on mobile barbers, but on taxi drivers, construction workers. Anyone who's using a vehicle will be impacted by this. And as I say, things are going up quite rapidly. I mentioned earlier that the price of fuel at some forecourts has already surpassed £2 a litre. And driver support groups are now calling for more support from the government. We'll be hearing from some motorists a little bit later about the help that they want to see from the government. And we know that at the moment, the price of fuel is rising because of the situation that's going on in Ukraine. It all kicked off in February, and that really sparked fears with the oil supply, meaning that ultimately it means price rises at the pumps. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it means price rises for motorists, and that has an effect on people's cost of living crisis and the amount of money that they'll be able to spend across the year.